Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest edition of the Diamond Discussion. I am your host, Demetrius Woods, and today we have a friend and brother, KJ Harris. You're going to get to know a lot about him today, guys. But we're going to talk about staying focused regardless of your environment, how important hard work is, as well as chasing that dream. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. So once again, KJ Harris, brother, good to have you on the show, man.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I know you got big things coming, and I know we're going to use this show to kind of introduce you to our audience
Gotcha.
a little bit. Local kid, right? We met. How long ago was that? When did you graduate?
2018. I think I met you that 2017 summer before school started.
Okay.
You played pickup with us in the summer.
That's right. That's right. So pick up basketball. Graduated from Lake Oconee Academy. Local kid right here. Young man now, man, doing big things, and we're gonna get to learn a little bit about your story here in the coming segments, obviously. But tell me, man, why'd you want to come on the show? We talked about this maybe a few weeks, even more a month ago, maybe even.
Yeah.
But what was one of your reasons for wanting to come on the show and just speak life into some of our folks?
I feel like especially like with the position that working towards and being in, you know what I'm saying, and just the knowledge and stuff that God's blessed me with my journey. I feel like it was just real important to like be able to shine knowledge on a lot of stuff because I feel like it's a lot of misinformation just around like just sports and just not even just with the sport, just things you should do, shouldn't do,
Sure.
how to move and how not to move, decision making. So I feel like it was just to inspire, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the biggest kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the strongest kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the most athletic. So it's like for me to get as far as I've gotten, you know what I'm saying? I pray to God that I get further, just being able to show kids that there is a way. And just to like let basketball, like you use basketball, don't let basketball use you.
Sure.
So you get something out of it, whether it be when you get done, like if I stop today, I got a degree.
Right.
And I've got business connections, like I've made lifelong friends. So always get something out of it, and I've got to see things that I wouldn't have seen without basketball. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And it's that mentality right there, brother, that you talk about. Because I mean, all of those things that you just mentioned, like I know that you can be able to add that kind of value to our audience, right? Because it's like, oh man, this is predominantly a softball podcast, with a little bit of baseball in it. Why are we bringing a basketball player on the show, right? But it's not about necessarily about what you do; it's about who you are, right? That's why I feel like you can add some value to the show, man. But so let's talk a little bit about that piece that we discussed earlier about staying focused regardless of that environment, right? We go, okay, well listen, how can I make sure I'm doing what I got to do no matter who's around me, what's around me, the world around me? So the first question I got for you is, how are you staying focused and disciplined typically when you're hit with roadblocks?
One of the biggest things I got to do is pray. That's one of the big things I got to do is pray because, sometimes you can't see really what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
God can. And sometimes he puts you through trials, tribulations. Sometimes he puts you in certain situations just so you can see how people might act or what they might do.
Sure.
And if it, let's say, was like maybe a close call or something would have happened, and it doesn't have to be anything bad, but maybe it's not meeting the deadline or anything like that. You can kind of see like, okay, that person not for me, or that's not for me. I need to stay away from that. Distance myself. And then two, just understanding, just like specifically if we talk about sports, this applies like to anything in life. When you're trying to reach a goal or you're working on something, you got to do what's best for you.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Whether that means you got to get yourself like deeper into it, or you got to separate yourself from certain people, or, isolation. I seen something today on Twitter. It was like when you're going on a walk or journey, sometimes God's put you in seasons of isolation.
Yep.
And it's not isolation because you did anything wrong or anything like that. Everybody just can't go. Like everybody just can't go with you. They might can meet you on the other side when you get to where you're going or when you get done doing what you're doing. But sometimes you gotta walk by yourself. You gotta feel that pain by yourself. Sometimes you just gotta put your head down and grind. You gotta hear no. You gotta hear, what I'm saying? You might hear some yeses and then you might hear some no's. So, what I'm saying? It's gonna be some roadblocks. So you just gotta put your blinders on and you gotta really work.
Absolutely. And I think about life, man, sometimes like a movie
Yeah.
a little bit, right? Where every character has his or her role in the movie, right? To make the film what it is.
Right.
Right. I think about, I don't know if you saw the interview Shannon Sharp had with Cat Williams.
Yeah.
3 out, dude. I watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing too.
2 hours and 46 minutes.
I watched the whole thing.
Whole clip, right? But I think about, in the beginning when the first Friday movie came out, right? Although
Right.
Cat Williams' role was not very big, like it was a meaningful role, right? And I think about that in terms of our lives, where some people come into our lives for specific seasons, right? And then they're gone, right? And then they re-enter sometimes, or maybe they don't, right? Or some people are there through the whole process, right? And I think about like our relationship where, we met back in 2017. I'm helping out with the Lake Oconee Academy softball program, and I like to hoop. I still like to hoop. Like I played ball yesterday, day before yesterday, and I probably shoot twice a week now. I know you shoot every day, I'm sure, but but like we connected on the court and then developed a relationship off the court, right? And then there was a period where we didn't talk too much, right? Just because you were gone, you were off doing your own thing, right?
Because I had ended up transferring. I went to Arkansas,
right?
So it was a split second. So I had got all my stuff and I was gone.
You out?
I was gone,
like thief in the night, right?
Like I was early in the morning too, 5 in the morning. I was,
exactly.
I was gone,
right? And then obviously we reconnect after that, and then of course we can fast forward to now, but like at the end of the day though, there's seasons, right, that people go through. And sometimes we want to keep people in our life for a longer period.
Right.
And sometimes we got to be willing to say, hey, listen, this ain't working for me.
Right.
It's time to cut the cord.
Yeah.
Right. So, but what was your upbringing like, man? I mean, just talk to us about life before becoming an adult a little bit. What was that like? Because you grew up in Greene County, right?
Yeah. I grew up in Greene County. Like I said, I moved from Atlanta. I moved down here, so I pretty much had fun though. Like I feel like I had a fun childhood. Usually I was with my cousins. My sister, she was with me. I really liked to play the game a lot though.
Sure.
I was a game head for a while. I was a game head for a while until I really started playing basketball. But as far as like upbringing, and I actually one of the first places I stayed at, it's kind of like an apartment right beside my grandmother. So I still remember just like my mama, or it was usually my mama and sister, and she used to walk me over there, wait till my grandma got me, and I still remember just like she passed this past August, but drinking coffee, watching Maury, or just watching different shows. My childhood was really fun though. I really had no complaints about my childhood.
That's what's up, man. So, and then you went to Lake Oconee Academy when?
My ninth grade year.
Ninth grade year. So all high school.
All high school.
Lake Oconee Academy, and obviously played basketball there. Any other sports?
The first year I did cross country.
Yep.
I ain't never do it after that. Bro, we was running too much. Like,
listen, man, it's not for everybody.
It's not. And see, I was on the mindset that was like need to try to do two sports, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that type of thing. Those kids are like more recruitable and stuff like that. So, and I was like really wasn't in shape. Like I really wasn't in shape because before actually playing at LOA, I ain't never played any type of organized basketball before.
So no AAU, no rec.
No AAU. I played rec, but I ain't never played for a school.
Okay.
So that was like my first thing. So anything I really did was just like I would be playing pickup. Either I play at my house. Sometimes we have games at my house. Kids would come over. We had games at my house. I go to my neighbor's house. It was time. It was I don't know if that court's still there, but it's like as you go through downtown Greensboro. It's like behind the bank. It's basketball court.
Okay.
Used to play there. Used to go to the rec, CBJ gym.
Yep.
I was just playing basketball everywhere, but it was never just like no condition through a whole season, because rec season ends early.
Oh yeah,
it ain't nothing like
it's quick.
It's
quick too.
It's nothing like the real actual season. So I was like, I'm gonna try to do cross country, and I'm fast. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fast player. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
But then, just the long distance running, and you got to keep going and keep going. And I got asthma too, so that one really for me. They won't fuck me.
I got you, man. I got you. I remember there were. I think this was actually my freshman year of high school back in 2009, man. So we're getting ready for cross country workouts.
Yeah.
And our basketball coach was also our cross country coach over at Putnam High School.
Yeah.
Right. But he was really just a basketball coach, being real. Like we were running on our own. Okay. And so he's telling some of the basketball players they got to come out. He was making them come out.
Doing that thing where you got to run.
Yeah, you got to run, or you're not on a team, right? Man, the basketball players they were like, listen, man, we're done after a mile. They were done. You know what I mean? We're having 4, 5, 6 mile practices, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yo, we're out, bro. Can't do it. It's just it's different. It's a different style of running because basketball, you're running the gun and not up to 94 feet,
Yeah.
there and back, but you got some breaks. It's sprints. It's
You got breaks, you got sprints, then you got like free throws, and then like I ain't telling kids you should do this, but you can take play. You can find little pockets in the game to like
Oh,
get some
yeah.
rest. So if I know the play is not for me, like if I'm just the corner, if I've been running all game, you're supposed to look like a threat. But sometimes I just I might just fake little throw my hands up and I might just
take a playoff.
yeah, take a play off.
Yeah, take a playoff,
Take
get
a
yourself
playoff.
composed, and
Yeah.
keep going. And applying that to other sports, right? Like, I read this thing in the NFL, man. They only play like 11 minutes of real action. Like 11 minutes, like throughout an entire NFL game, there's only 11 minutes of true hitting and throwing, the whole nine,
That's crazy.
right? You play a 60-minute game, but only 11 minutes of those is actually a thing. But anyway, then my point is though that, like, whether it's football, basketball, softball, baseball, whatever, like, you can find pockets in the game to take a break. Self-explanatory for a softball and baseball player. Like, either you're on the bench, cheering your team on when you're on offense, or you're out in the field. You're not really taking mental breaks in the field,
Yeah.
but you're standing there locked in mentally on that front. But physically, you can afford a break or two, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Because it's times too, just even like basketball, I might fall, and I might stay down for like a little longer, and then people might think something might be wrong, but I really just try to catch my breath there.
Sure.
It be times I untie my shoe on purpose, and so I know like they got to stop the game. Like I know they got to stop the
This
game.
guy, I like it.
I'm like Chris Paul, man. I'm just IQ stuff. So
Oh, yeah, play with the game, man. I've been refereeing basketball for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I had a game last night, man. I was over at Glasscock County.
They still got a team?
They do. They still have a team.
Oh, okay.
2 teams, boys and girls.
Okay.
And mediocre at best.
Yeah.
But they were playing. Dang, who were they playing? Oh, Johnson County.
Yeah.
And for the girls, they were fighting for number 1 and number 2 in the region. And bro, so Johnson County had beaten Glasscock by 12 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Glasscock last night, man, gave them a run for their money. Double overtime. Double overtime. Johnson County ends up winning. But my point, though, is that the best player on the floor was on Glasscock's team. And to your point of her taking, she was, I won't call her Steph Curry. That's a mediocre stretch. But, like, she was pulling up from deep, right? But she would take breaks.
Yeah.
You would tell she would take a couple of plays off. The team looked a little discombobulated when she wasn't in the mix of the offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got to, as a ball player, you have to make sure that you can manage your body,
right,
in the middle of a game when necessary, right? So another question, just kind of going back to staying focused. So my aunt, man, my favorite aunt. I hope my other aunts don't hear this, but so she lives down in Jacksonville, Florida. She's been either a principal or an assistant principal.
right,
at elementary schools down in Duval County, right? And Jacksonville is, it's got an inner city vibe to it, right? And so we've always had some good quality discourse about kids being a product of their environment.
Right, it's big.
What are your thoughts on that? Even you're from Atlanta, you grew up here. We're about to talk about some of your story here in a second, but like, how do you feel about just that notion that people are a product of their environment, and can they get out of it to do something better?
My thoughts about that is you kind of are a product of your environment because you are what you see, and you are what you are around up to a certain point.
Right.
But just for me, for example, like I always had in my head like what I want to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it was, but I knew I was going to be an important person. I knew I was going to have stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to like, and another thing too is like YouTube and stuff. That was big for me too. Like YouTube, because even people like I couldn't see physically,
yeah,
I could see like a lot of the basketball players. Like I used to watch this like Be Great series on YouTube, Home Team Hoops, like of Antonio Blakeney, Dwayne Bacon, Billy Preston, a lot of those guys. So I was coming up, I was looking at those guys, and I'm like, I gotta start carrying myself like a basketball player.
Sure.
I see them like isolate themselves and they in the gym by themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be by myself. You know, a lot of my workouts, a lot of stuff I did, sometimes I'd be by myself. And I had got comfortable being lonely. I hadn't got comfortable with like just immersing myself in like the work. So and two, I feel like it's also kinda like your support system who's around you. So I grew up, I see my mom go to work.
Right.
I see my dad getting up, go to work at 5, sometimes 4 in the morning. Sometimes now he leaves at 3 in the morning. I grew up seeing my mom get up and go to work. My sister, you know what I'm saying, she graduated from Spelman and then she ended up getting her master's. So I seen her go to work, still come home, she doing all her homework, she knocking out everything.
Getting it done.
She getting it done, you know what I'm saying? And a big thing I know like for my household is like the work come first. Like school. Like school is a big thing.
Yep.
Mom didn't play about school.
Oh no.
Nah, she didn't play about school.
I don't know many moms who do.
As long as my grades are good, it didn't really matter what. You know what I'm saying? But I remember being sometimes like she would help me out of stuff if like my grades weren't up to par.
Yep.
So I feel like also it's like your support system and like who you're around. But I feel like though if you're a kid and you know what you want to do or you know that you're gonna be successful or you just want to be or you just want to strive to be better, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's always examples of people around you, whether it be at school, whether it be you go to church, it's just in your community, you know what I'm saying? Like great coaches,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's always somebody that you can look at and that you can kind of take stuff from and emulate. And I feel like me coming up, like I didn't, nobody in my immediate family played basketball.
Sure.
So I kind of had to like, you know, we'll probably talk about this like the recruiting process, but I was going through it. I didn't know what to expect or what to do. So it was different people like I had to talk to or like call on, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's been like a real mentor to me, kind of sort of, or like a brother. It's been like Tukey.
Yep.
So like me being able sometimes, like we don't talk all the time, we don't talk every day and stuff like that, but having somebody like I can reach out to or if we in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Maybe after we might talk and he could give me words, give me wisdom, give me some advice, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be stuff that I ain't never thought of before, I ain't never been about, and it's like he's been through this before, so he can like kind of help me. And even though my parents or like my sister, my brother, they ain't been through this before, they can still give me other type of wisdom, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
About like just recently, like I said, when I was hurt, you know what I'm saying? Just talking to my mom and my support system, you know what I'm saying? Just about staying focused, being prepared,
Yep.
being ready because you know what I'm saying, God got the final say so.
That's it.
Just keep working, you know what I'm saying? It's you know, even my mom be like, you know what I'm saying, you doing exercise. She might just be walking through. Like you do exercises or you know what I'm saying, how you foot. You know what I'm saying? What they say you need to do. You need to do this, you need to do that. Just even little stuff like that. That stuff can help. So
it goes a long way too, right?
A long way.
Right. I mean, I think there's a lot of value, man, in just the last couple of minutes of what you were just talking about. One, I think, like just for our audience, like help you understand that your mentor doesn't have to be this close to you.
Right.
Right. Like
right.
you've got mentors who don't even know you exist. Right. Because they were on YouTube.
Yeah, I can watch you. So it's like
right. You can have
access.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
You got access to everything. So mentors from afar, obviously mom, dad, sister, for you, mentors up close, up impersonal,
Right.
you know, doing the little things like, hey, what you got going on today?
Right.
What do you have going on this week? Make sure you get that done, whatever. But I also think, man, there's value in understanding that there are people around you, right? Like I've always said, and I stole this from somebody else, but I've always said like you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true because even like my mindset in high school, so like I'm watching these guys on YouTube, I'm watching them get the offers, you know what I'm saying? And around that time, Instagram became like a really big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm connected to these athletes, but I'm not. So it's like I see the high school kid, I see him go to the McDonald's All-American games. I'm seeing how hard they work and stuff like that. And so I'm like, man, I really gotta like really work hard. I gotta really take it up a notch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember my dad saying like, we was working out during the summer. I remember we was like, I was trying to eat a lot of eggs. I was trying to get protein, get stronger. I was doing stuff to try to get quicker, stuff like that. And it was kind of different because it was like I was working a little harder. And so it was like if you want awards or anything like that, you know what I'm saying, you got to work a little different. And so like I started getting up around like 5 and going to the school to work out, get shots up, work on moves, work on stuff before a game, see how they guarded me before.
Right.
And the same time I'm getting up, and my dad getting up and he going out the door, or my mom is already like getting up, she getting her stuff ready. So it's like they can get up and they can do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Why can't I get up for a sport that I love and like try to get better? So I ain't really felt like I had no excuse.
Exactly.
So
exactly right, man. Well, I think that's important. So the last thing, because I wanna segue here in just a bit after the break. So for you, do you have any specific habit or ritual that you use to help you stay focused in environments that are a little bit tougher than others?
Yeah. So like for me, like some of the toughest environments they came in college because it's a mental grind as much as it is a physical grind.
Right.
And that's probably like the first time, like, I used to always be like, how can people get depressed? There used to be a genuine question to me, like, how can people get depressed? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so, like, when you see, like, because this is another thing, social media is an illusion. So, I posted the other day, like, you know what I'm saying, there's no need to rush because nobody's posting their failures. So, I see the guys with, you know what I'm saying, in college, they playing on TV, they playing, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I can't wait to get into that. And then I see sometimes, or people leave the programs because they're depressed or stuff like that. I'm like, man, you live a dream. How can that happen?
Right.
And so when I went through my own type of depression, you know what I'm saying? And I was trying to figure out how can I get better? How can I get on the court? You know what I'm saying? What am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Is there something wrong with me?
Sure.
My biggest thing that helped me stay focused was, you know what I'm saying, was keeping a tight circle, you know, keeping the same people, you know what I'm saying, that brought me joy. So like even the friends I kept close, you know, we were talking and it wouldn't even be about basketball.
Yep.
It'd be about other stuff in life. And that kept me going. And then another thing too, man, I talk to God a lot. Like I cried to God a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that kept me grounded, kept me focused. And I used to always just say like, you know, I don't know when my time's gonna come, you know, because God showed me something I really firmly believe like it's for me. So I just kept my faith in God, my belief in God. Even when it was hard to like sometimes get up, go to church, it was hard to pray. You know what I'm saying? My mom sent me stuff, other people send me stuff. Sometimes it would be hard because it'd be like I keep believing, but it's like when is it going? Like when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna hit? And so as I get the small little wins, small little victories, I kept getting small little gains and victories. It kept giving me hope and faith. And like in the Bible, it says you gotta have the faith the size of a mustard seed.
That's all it needs. That's all it requires.
That's all it requires. So I just kept that faith, and so I just kept talking to God. And I always tell people too, like one thing about God, like He really can be your best friend. Like that's one thing. When I talk to Him, I ain't gotta worry about nobody else knowing my business. Ain't gotta worry about nobody else going out saying, or I can express my feelings.
Right.
So I think that's another thing too, like getting in tune with God, getting right with God, because I firmly believe in my journey, I don't think I would have gotten half or even near as close without Him.
Heck no, man.
Without God, I don't think I would have gotten far.
We can drop the mic on that segment right there.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I mean, seriously, man, because that's. I'm not even gonna say anything else. That's it. I mean, because I can say amen and we're done. Because at the end of the day, bro, if you don't have God, you
got nothing. Because all this stuff gonna fade away.
Yep.
And so I learned it too. Just being hurt and going through like different time periods, just like it can be taken away so fast. Like you can be, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be on TV, you could be playing on ESPN, you could be killing 5-on-5 in practice, you can be going traveling, eating at different places and stuff like that. And then just like that, like I know for me, I was hurt.
Sure.
And I was hurt a couple times.
And it's stripped away.
And it's stripped away. And it's not like I per se probably did anything wrong. It's just like it just comes with the game. Like in anything you do in life, in a profession, like you always have stuff that comes with it. And so what I do, you know what I'm saying, injuries is a part of it. And the mental being tested is part of it. So ain't nothing I can do about that.
No, nothing at all. And I think that also forces you to evaluate or potentially reevaluate what your purpose in life is.
Yeah.
Right. So, hey guys, we're gonna take a quick break right here, and we'll be right back to y'all, and we're gonna share a little bit more about KJ's journey and give you guys an opportunity to know him and his life post high school days. So, stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So I want to jump in with KJ here and talk a little bit about just his journey since high school. So we graduated in 2018.
Right.
right? So going on 6 years, 5.5 years now.
Yeah.
And so your journey as a basketball player specifically started at Bruton Parker,
Right.
right? But how'd you wind up at Bruton Parker though?
It's really like a crazy story because, like I was saying, I was trying to find a school to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like I had so many people try to intercede on my behalf, talk to coaches, talk to schools, like Chris Engel. She used to be an assistant there. I think her name was Carol Helpner.
Okay.
So I had
At Lake Oconee Academy.
Yeah, Lake Oconee. My trainer Brandon Johnson, he was trying to send out my stuff everywhere. Like he was almost every day trying to send my stuff out. At one point, I had even sent out, bro. I had sent out like a couple hundred emails, different
By
schools,
yourself, right?
by myself. I would look at the school, look at the roster. I see if they had small guards, see how many small guards. I would probably look at a little game film, see did the small guards actually play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he likes small guards. Okay, I'm seeing you. So I'm seeing you something.
And for those who don't understand like the term small guard as it pertains to basketball, like we're talking about an undersized guard because like what you're
probably like 5'8",
5'8",
5'8".
the typical collegiate guard.
Probably like 6'2".
At least, right? So you're
least.
talking about like because Steph Curry is like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Right, and he's small on the court.
Trae Young's. He say he's 6 foot.
But him and Chris Paul they look like they're in the fives. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul and Trae Young, they're like 5'11".
Right. So again, my point is though that can be a perceived disadvantage.
Yeah.
In the eyes of a coach potentially, right? So, but for you, you were small guard. You still are a small guard, but you're journeying to Bruton Parker though.
Right.
Right. So after Bruton Parker, first of all, tell me how that experience was there at Bruton Parker. I know it was a whirlwind. You went through some changes.
Man, it was just because I was a freshman. I was 18, first time really being away from home. Even though it's 2 hours away, it's first time being away from home. So
Yeah.
I know I was overwhelmed like academically. At first, I thought I was gonna be ineligible, just because the amount of like work we had to do. Then you still got to do the conditioning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You still got to go get your own work in. You got practice. And then this crazy thing too, people think I be playing, but sometimes I forgot to eat. Like I might look up and it be 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I probably only ate just a little bit of food. I need to go eat something. So just everything and having to manage your own schedule. You're not like having somebody in your ear like you need to do this or
it's a lot.
Do this. You know what I'm saying? And then too, just like mentally, like I didn't take my car there, so I couldn't just go out and like get away. I was always there. So
let me ask you this on that point. Right. Did you have to? Because those were habits and skills that you had to build.
Yeah.
You kind of had to go experience that a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you already start building those habits while you were in high school, or did that just begin to happen when you left for college?
Habits as far as like the scheduling and stuff like that.
Yeah, just managing your time. Like, were there things that you did in high school to prepare for that? Yeah,
because me personally, I'm the type of person I am. I don't really like change. Like I'll adapt to change and I can adapt to any environment. You know what I'm saying? But once I first get there, it's usually like a shock for me. And then I gotta have a schedule of stuff I'm gonna do. So like at school, I knew every morning I was gonna get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I knew I was gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I knew I was gonna work out. I was gonna go through school, anything like that. Depending on if we had the late practice, I knew I was gonna go get me something to eat. I was gonna come back to the school, do my homework, go practice.
Be good.
And after practice, I'm getting extra work in again. And then I knew what time I was gonna go to sleep. I was gonna go to sleep around the same time because I had to get up in the morning. So I kind of had like a routine. So then when I got to college and your class schedule can be all over the place. You might have a class at 8, and then you might have another class at like 12, 1 o'clock.
Sure.
So I had to like really figure out, okay, like when am I gonna work out? You know what I'm saying? And when am I gonna have time to do the homework? Because I had a big homework load. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I had to figure out the homework load and studying. Because college is for me, it was a lot harder than high school.
What did you take? What major?
I was in communication, and then
Okay.
you had a lot of intro classes and stuff.
Right.
So like I had a history class, and I love history. Like history was always my thing. That class, the teacher, the amount of work she gave and how detailed stuff had to be, like it was kicking my butt, bro. Like I couldn't. I was trying to stay after. I really paid attention in class. I tried sitting in the front. I'm taking notes on my computer.
Everything.
I'm taking notes here. I'm asking her like, do these notes look good and stuff like that. I still go in, bro. I still get a 45.
Wow.
I'll still get a 45. So, and I'm not used to that.
No, because I mean, your mama didn't play that, obviously.
Yeah,
back here at home, so you weren't gonna come out of there with an F or anything less than A.
I'm like, I got to do that, and then just also the adjustment of like, cause up there with quarterback, I feel like playing point guard is kind of like the hardest position in sports. So I'm trying to memorize like, like the whole playbook. Like, okay, and see, I didn't know a lot of those little nuances about the game, like about timing. Okay, when to take the screen, when to do this, when to do that, pick and roll coverages. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know as well as I thought I did. So I'm trying to, do that. And a big thing was like me trying to lead, trying to learn to be like a leader.
Sure.
So I had to be comfortable even with my voice. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be comfortable telling cause like I said, the oldest person on my team was 27 years old.
Right, you're talking to grown men.
And a couple of those guys went to play pro. So I had to learn to try to be comfortable with like telling the guy that's gonna be at the average 20 in college, like, you on the wing, and he's like, let me get the ball. I learned like, maybe I got the mismatch this time. You clear out. I wasn't good at that. Like my voice wasn't where it should have been.
Right.
So I'm not doing as well as I want to in school and as I'm used to. And that's really making me mad because I'm really trying to study and stuff. I'm staying up late. Then I gotta throw in the fact that I'm trying to learn how to be a college point guard. Then I'm also like trying to work on my deficiencies because I came to college, I was probably 100 pounds. So I'm trying to do everything the coach staff saying I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And another hard thing for me was the plan originally with the old coach. I was going redshirt. So I was telling the other coach, the new coach, I was going redshirt.
Now, how long was the old coach there while you were there?
None.
At all. So he was out before you got to school.
Man, like I signed in like April. He probably called me like a couple weeks after I signed, and then he was like, he called me crying, and he was like, KJ, I'm not gonna be your coach no more. And so I'm like, well, what that mean for me? You know what I'm saying? And he told me my scholarship would still be, would still be respected, it still be, I have my scholarship, so.
Which is huge. Because that's not always the case.
It's not, and that was my biggest concern. And so I was like, a lot of times kids, like, they might decommit and try to find somewhere else to go to. And so my dad was like, you're just gonna have to you're just gonna go from high school to college. So he's gonna be playing for a new coach anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna have to learn a new system and all that stuff anyway. So
sure.
Just still go through with it. But a big thing I would say, if you have the options, a lot of kids don't have options. Like I ain't have a lot of options, so I had to go through that fire. But if you do have the option to do that, one thing that I would say to the kids, like, your coach matters. Because he's the one that recruits you. That means he likes your game. He sees potential in your game. He sees where you could grow. And your deficiencies, he sees that he can help you with them. Or if you don't get any better at your deficiencies, like, mine was height. That won't change. Some people, they grow late. I don't think that's going to be mine. But
we might be done, brother.
I think so. It's a reality.
Yep.
But, they're going to accept that. You know what I'm saying? And respect that. They still going to rock with you.
Right.
If you have a coach, and I've been in a situation where, I've been through a lot of coaching changes too, where if you're not their guy, the guy that they recruit with, your mistakes are not their mistakes.
Nope.
So another guy that they recruit, if they really want to be here, he can go have 3 turnovers, 4 turnovers. He can forget out of bounds plays. He can forget the cut, or he can forget to bump the cutter. Now he has a longer leash.
Yep.
I don't have that because sometimes, and it's crazy because you're a college coach and you should do your due diligence on your team, but sometimes those guys don't even look at who's there. They might look at, maybe look see what you did in high school or something like that.
Right.
But they're really worried about their guys. They know their guys.
Yep.
So they probably don't even know your game. So
the guy who recruited you knows where you can fit into his or her program, right? I mean that goes for anybody trying to go through the recruiting process right now, right? Where you're again, the coach matters, right? Like, okay, fine, you want to go to a school maybe because of the logo, or you want to go to it because of the weather or the academics, which is obviously a number one reason we go to school. But beyond that, like I've always believed the coach matters, just like you just said, because otherwise you put yourself into a situation where you're playing behind the 8 ball. And that can be tough.
And that logo, like, I tell people, like, man, that logo, that's not gonna be the reason you get in the game. And when you're going through them tough times, that logo not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? That the environment, or maybe because it's bigger, or the nightlife, or whatever the case may be, that might attract you. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep the main thing the main thing. And so coaching is a big reason why. You know what I'm saying? Big reason.
So you left Bruton Parker after how long?
It was just a year, man, because he told me that I shouldn't redshirt. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna redshirt. So then I go do the whole. He wants me to do the because it's NAIA school. I'm gonna do the whole go play NAIA.org or .com, something like that. So I verified myself. I paid it. I think it was $80. Paid it $80, verify myself. Just at the third, and bro, I don't get jersey. Like, I don't get a jersey.
You don't get a jersey.
Yeah, I don't get a jersey. I went through a little media day stuff or whatever, but I didn't get no jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, I borrowed somebody else to take a picture. Matter of fact, I borrowed somebody else to take a picture.
So pause on that for a sec, because that had to do something to you mentally, right? I mean, what were the next days and weeks after that? Like realizing, okay, I don't have my own number. Like that's different.
It wasn't the first because I didn't make my middle school team, even though I should have. Should have made the middle school team. But it's old, so I'm gonna let it go.
I got you.
But it was different because, like I say, it's not what I had seen other people going through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't have a jersey, and so then it's kind of like, by that time I was starting to do a little bit better in school because I was starting to grasp everything. I still where I wanted to be. I had a lot of C's and stuff. Still wasn't where I wanted to be, but I finally kind of grasped school. And then as far as like on the court, man, that was still a struggle for me. Still trying to learn to make the right reads. Times I was shooting, I shouldn't have shot. Times, I was struggling making the right reads. And so like confidence in college is really easy to get lost in the shuffle.
Oh yeah.
So I felt like I kept getting lost in the shuffle. And then, a lot of the stuff that other guys had, I couldn't help like hype. And, I wasn't jumping out of the gym. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was just smacking backboard and touching the rim at most. I probably did that a few times. But other than that, it's a lot of deficiencies in my game, holes in my game. And I really had to sit back and look in the mirror. And I had to just be honest with myself. And it was just like, I got to get better. But also at the same time, though, I didn't feel like the environment that I was in was going to help me grow.
Right.
And so that coach, they ended up taking over. He ended up leaving. And it was ended up being the third coach. And I'm like, man, that'd be 3 coaches in a year. I was like, it's time for a change of scenery. And especially when I kept like trying to figure out what can I do to play. And I didn't come off like I wasn't one of those disrespectful kids, like, what I'm saying, why am I not playing? I need to play. Why this not going on?
Right.
It'd just be a subtle, hey, can I come talk to you? Or, I'm after practice, what I'm saying, I'm working out. I see him walk by. Even if I already know what I got to work on, I'm still gonna ask you because I want you to know that I'm engaged, I'm focused, I'm locked in. Like
exactly.
I really want this. I went above and beyond an extra mile, and I still get the same answer. Like I told you, I was 100 pounds. Ended up getting close to like 135, 140. That's a lot for a couple months.
Yeah.
So I'm working.
That's a third of your current body weight in a few months.
So I'm working, and I still just get the same thing. Oh, you too small, or oh, you need to do this and do that. And as the year kept going on, I got more confident with myself because I knew I was working. So I would be watching the games even when I was on the bench. I'm looking at different stuff, and then I'm looking at other guys, and I'm like, I can do this. And so I'm seeing other teams with small guards, smaller players.
Yeah.
And like smaller than me, and they're out there frying, like they get to it. And I'm like, he hitting step back jumpers, he's, floating, and he's being a dog. I'm like, bro, why I can't do that?
Yeah.
So I got that confidence in myself. So I'm playing like that in practice. And I still wasn't getting nothing. I was just getting a run around and stuff. And I was like, I just don't think this would be like a good environment or area for me. There's no plan for me.
So after that, so you see, all right, the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah.
My time is about up in terms of me being able to expand my game.
Right.
You leave again. You head out to Arkansas quick, right? Yeah. So what was that experience like going out? I mean, you're further away from home. You're no longer 2 hours away from here. 10.
So, man, just even that whole process of just trying to get my release, that was tough. Because coach didn't give me my release. And then I remember him saying like that'd be like the worst basketball decision you ever make if you leave.
Really?
Yeah, this was like in July. It's like, and I had been trying to talk to schools before, but a lot of schools, it's a lot of rules. And I learned this too going through transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? If you go through transfer portal, it's a lot of rules, and make sure you know those rules. But like one of them was like you got to have a release, and your coach has to sign off on your release, stuff like that, for you to be able to talk to other schools and visit other schools. So I was like, bro, I was on the same thing I did high school. I'm calling, I'm texting, I'm emailing, I'm leaving voicemails, I'm persistent.
Talking to everybody who will listen.
I'm talking to anybody who will listen. I took the little bit of film I had. I'm trying to send it off. I'm still using some of my high school stuff because it wasn't that old. And people would talk to me, but I kind of get to run around like, "Do you got your release?" And the conversation always in there.
Because that was
That was the thing.
the gatekeeper.
That was the gatekeeper. And I'm like, I didn't want to burn the bridge, because I didn't want them to find out I'm trying to leave. And then, okay, well, you can leave. We'll take a scholarship. Or, I didn't know how they would end.
Right.
So I was trying to keep my move on the low. And so then my trainer, Brandon Johnson, was reached out to a school. He ended up reaching out to, and it's so funny because his name was Coach Epps. He coached me, but now he coaches at Broome Park.
No way.
Yeah, it's a funny story. But
wait, he coached you in Arkansas?
He coached me in Arkansas, and he left after a year. Because that year we won like the most games in like program history. So he was right.
Wow. So yeah, he was.
And he's still there. Like, he's still there now. So
wow.
He had finally hit my trainer stuff back. And so then he was like film and stuff. He got GPA and stuff. So then he was like, I want to get you out here on a visit. And it was 10 hours away, so we drove out there. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. And so we drove
Dude,
out
that's
there.
a haul, man.
It is. So me and my family, we drove out there. Me and my mom, my dad drove out there. So the city that the school is in is Hot Springs, Arkansas. I love Hot Springs. That's forever gonna have like a place in my heart. I was there for 3 years, graduated from there. I still taught all my teammates stuff, and now I love Hot Springs. When I'm done, whenever I get done playing, I'm gonna have a house out there. Like I love it.
You love the area that much?
And I love the area that much. Like I love it that much.
So growing up, like, spin the globe, pick one of the 50 states. Did you ever see yourself in Arkansas?
Nah, I didn't.
Isn't that crazy though, man? Like you go and experience something like that, and it's in a time of your life where, because that was kind of a rebound time in your life.
Yeah.
Right,
Definitely.
where you're going through some trials and tribulations.
Right.
Here at Broome Parker, but then you get out to Arkansas. It's a better experience.
Yeah, just from like this, and I think it was just because you know how Greensboro is, you know how big everything is here. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Atlanta.
Sure.
So I'm saying it's a bigger city, Walmart's, and it's like a tourist attraction. So I went during the summer. So I get out there on the visit and stuff, and I love the city. I fell in love with the city.
Yeah.
And so actually go to the school, and it wasn't a super big school. It wasn't. But I kind of got like a family vibe from it.
Okay.
And I kind of felt wanted. Even when like I still remember like when I walked in, he knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? He made sure he spoke to my parents.
That's big.
He you know what I'm saying? He treated me with respect, hospitality. They fed us. And then he ended up being like one of my best friends, but the best player at the time was Stephon Tillis. He play overseas now. I ended up going to the gym. We worked out. So we doing all type of workouts, shooting. We doing all types of conditioning. Like he working me.
Huge.
He working me. And then I end up playing one-on-one against Steph. He probably gonna see this, and you probably be like, I'm lying. But we was playing ones. I beat him. One time. I don't know how many games played after. I think I beat him one time though. Well, and I hit him with a move. He see this, he gonna text me. He'll see this, he gonna text me. I hit him with a move, and the coach Steph's like, oh, and I hit the shot. And then I remember them whispering to each other. Then got done the workout stuff. And then after he came out, he was like, yeah, we like him. We want off him.
Done deal.
Done. And then after that, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. Because like I was saying, I was talking to God, and it was like, man, where am I going to go?
Right.
And so then I'm just thinking, I'm on this drive to Arkansas. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, you really on the way to Arkansas? Like
20 hours round trip for a chance to not.
Because I could have went, and I could have not got offered. I could have played bad and not shot the ball well, and I could have not got offered.
You talk about that leap of faith, man. Trusting God, talking to God, staying connected, because that wasn't a mistake, right? Like that. I don't think God put Arkansas in your path for no reason,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a beautiful thing, man. And so now you're about to embark on something new,
right,
and exciting as well. And so talk to us about, because you're about to leave in how long?
I got training camp like not next week, but the week after next, Valentine's Day weekend.
Okay. Got you. So in a couple of weeks, you're about to head out.
Yeah.
And tell everybody where you're going, man. What are we about to do?
Man, I got training camp in Cleveland, Ohio. over the like next few weeks. Meet the team, gym, everything like that. Meet up with my agent and stuff like that. Go through the training camp. I was injured, so the big thing is I gotta make sure that I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, as long as nothing's wrong with the ankle, you know what I'm saying? And you still gotta play well. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy can still take your spot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's training camp, the guy still take your spot. But I go up there, I take care of business, and then my foot check out okay. Then I'll be leaving March 4th.
And where you headed?
Thailand.
Overseas, playing basketball. Have you ever been out of the country before?
I have not. Like, my passport came earlier this week, like Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. So how are you feeling, man? Because I mean, it's a big deal, man, to be able to go, go overseas, get to the G League, go to the NBA, whatever path that looks like for anybody. But to go overseas, man, and play ball, like every guy who's ever done that, across all sports, or gal, it's like they've always come back with stories and experiences, but they've also left with some fears, some doubts, but also a lot of excitement. So talk to me about how you're feeling right now, weeks before you leave.
The biggest thing is just like I feel like everything's like coming full circle. Cause like I was under recruited in high school. Even when it was times like I played against a lot of guys. I played against like some guys that were ranked like ESPN top 100. Some guys went on to play in like the SEC and Sun Belt, different places. If I didn't get the better of them, we was neck and neck. You know what I'm saying? As far as like individual performances, I went to a lot of camps and tryouts in high school. A lot of workouts. I only had one school take a chance. Even throughout my college career, I went to 3 different schools. First school didn't work out. I went to Champion. I played with some amazing basketball. I played with some amazing basketball. All Americans like AJ Williams. He's still like my brother to this day. Braylon Hawkins. Some guys that are playing or that will play pro. And then I ended up going to Barclay, Kansas. Starting over. Cause like I said, Coach Epps, he left.
Right.
So then I ended up getting with Coach Mo. He's the greatest coach ever, like as far as like individual wise, and he was big with me and God too.
Huge.
He really loved me. He cared a lot about personal life and stuff like that. But as far as like basketball wise, like it wasn't like I was the guy or anything like that. Like I said, I had we had just a solid team. We always had a solid team. We had a lot of guys that probably could have played elsewhere and did numbers. So I kind of called him like the Kentucky of like that division of basketball.
I got you. Okay.
So I took everything I learned from being there. I graduated. I felt like I learned how to get better because I feel like to get on the court, like you had to show up every day in practice. You had to show up and pick up. It wasn't like you was so much under a microscope, but it was. So even after like a bad game, you'll see people get in the gym because you knew, that the lineup changed. Dude that was 10th man, he might be moved up 6th man.
Exactly.
And it might be your minutes because it was times that I ain't play at all and end up starting or end up being like the first, second guy off the bench, got minutes. So it's like it was always, you never knew.
You got a spectrum right there, yeah.
You never knew what it was going to be. You always had to be prepared. So I took everything I learned from being in an environment of such great players and just details. There was a very detailed coach staff too. So I took everything I learned from them and then ended up going to Barclay. And I always give him a shout out. I love him to death.
Yeah.
But Coach Joel, Coach G, he gave me a chance. I'm gonna forever be thankful.
Yeah.
Forever be thankful because, he challenged me every day to just like get better. We got into it a lot. Like we really got into it a lot. I love him to death. We got into it a lot. Just by being a point guard, it'd be a lot of times like, you don't want to be a point guard, or if you don't want to shoot, you know what I'm saying? You can just sit your own bench, you can go home. Or even in practice, just like about being selfish. Because one time I ain't know, I kind of got mixed up on what spots to go. I was talking to a freshman, and so I was like, as we run the transition spot, I'm like, no, you go to that spot. And I remember him stopping practice and stuff like that. He was like, that's so selfish of you. And I had just got there like a week and a half ago. Wow. And I really didn't know the spots.
Right.
But instead of me just, talking and stopping, like, even though it would have been embarrassing, he probably would have made me run. But being like, Coach, I kind of
it's a lose-lose, actually.
It's a lose-lose. But I get what he's saying, though.
For sure.
He was just like being a man, you made a mistake. Or you didn't understand something, you just didn't get it. Talk, but instead you putting somebody else out of position, make you look good. Just like even little lessons like that.
Yep.
Him just letting me play through mistakes. Like that's my first time in my college career, like since high school. I went out there on like a Wednesday. We played like that Thursday or Friday. Yeah, we played that Friday.
Oh dang!
So I'm fresh
That was
off.
quick.
I'm off the plane. Some of the school officials and stuff, they come get me. We probably like an hour away from the airport. I get there. I ain't even get in my room and then yet. They had just started practice. He like, man, waiting on you. I'm like, man, I just caught the plane. Like, and I had missed I missed my original flight, so I would have been there way earlier in the day.
Wow.
I ended up missing my flight by like a couple minutes. So I sat in the airport for an extra like 2 hours.
It's nothing like that feeling.
And it never happened again.
Never again.
That's the only time it's ever happened. And that's the only time it is going to happen.
That's right.
Because I was just sitting there bored. I was like, and I couldn't really go to sleep because some people weren't showing up. So they was like, could be on the earlier flight. So I had to stay up and like really just be like, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm fresh off the plane. I'm tired, bro. It's like 9 o'clock at night. And Coach G liked to have long practices. He liked to have like long practice, detailed practice over stuff. And so he's like, yeah, man, we waiting on you. I'm like, even like the school, they had given me some food and stuff. I'm like, man, Coach, ain't got my room. So I had to take off my luggage and stuff.
Yep.
To the gym. I changed there, and then we get into it. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna sit back and watch. I'm like, no, I'm getting them reps. Day one, getting reps
right away.
So I'm watching, and then I'm kind of like watching, but I ain't like watching to be in it. I'm watching just to like, no, come like, okay, we got practice tomorrow. I got another day for a game. He's like, KJ, he's like, run the one. Texas, run the play. Texas. And my teammates, they gonna laugh because this is exactly how he is. Like, no, let's run Texas. Get into it. And I'm like, I only seen it twice. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of like slow stepping through it. And he coaching me like, not full speed. The cut's got to be this. And he like to demonstrate. It's got to be like this. Got to do this. Got to be crisp. Got to be like somebody's guarding you, man. It's got to be crisp. You got to sprint to it. You got to want it. So just being around him and just him giving me an opportunity. And like, there's a lot of times we got into it, but just him always staying on me and just wanting more out of me. You know what I'm saying? At practice every day, we had a lot of like life talks about what I wanted out of life.
Right.
Like how to move and just, you know what I'm saying, just to be a better basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's huge, man. I mean, I just, I know your story and I love your story, and I'm hoping, man, that everybody who's listening to this show right now, especially this segment right here, is that you hear a story of faith and perseverance. Because if I could put a nice pretty bow on your story, like that's what I would describe it as. Like your faith has led you to every next step that you've taken.
Right.
And you've also persevered through a lot of obstacles.
Right.
And now today, bro, you're about to head to Thailand to play ball overseas. You've got, business partnerships already in your back pocket, some that are on the way, Lord willing, right? I mean, there's just, like you said, it's full circle, but everything is lining up. The stars are aligning the way they should for you, man. And I'm proud of you, brother. I really am. And I think it's a blessing, man, to see you where you are today.
Yeah.
And, from that first day, I got a chance to meet you and play pickup ball, to see where you are today and from where you were then. Right. And now you got this opportunity. So we're going to take a quick break.
Gotcha.
We're going to come back, audience, and talk a little bit about hard work and just what that really means. Because ultimately, I think at the end of the day, guys, people think about, I think hard work has kind of become a cliche for us.
Yeah.
And, and so often people, older folks will say, are you, working hard or hardly working? You know what I mean? That's kind of how it goes, right? But, I want to talk to you guys. We want to talk to you guys about that. And, I hope that thus far, even for you non-basketball aficionados, like, of course, again, softball, baseball audience here, I hope you're getting something out of this, because whether you apply this to your game, you apply this to, different aspects of your life, whether it be your job, whether it be your relationships, whether it be the way you serve people, whether it be your faith even, right? There's so much goodness out of KJ's story that I hope you didn't miss. And if you did miss it, just press that rewind button. But anyway, we're going to pause real quick for another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show again. So again, super excited, man, for this conversation about hard work and just kind of how it can pay off for everybody. And that's been the moral of the story today for the show. KJ, man, you are a tremendously hard worker. You're somebody who has, as I mentioned about the last segment, like you've persevered through a lot. You kept your faith at the top of the priority list, which ultimately is getting you additional opportunities that maybe you wouldn't have, not maybe, you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Right. That's
Right. But let's talk about the hard work though.
right.
And again, as I mentioned before, that can be a cliche for people, and we can just kind of gloss over sometimes the impact that hard work has on our lives. So for you, what's been one of your primary motivators to work hard and keep that going?
Obviously, like the big thing for me is like my family. It's been because I know how hard they work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when they go through stuff, you know what I'm saying, and I still see them get up and go to work. I still see them get up and take care of business. That was one.
For sure.
Um, Even like my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing how she still tried her best every single day, even she was hurting, sick. You know, even a lot of personal things I didn't know that she was probably going through. But she made sure I ate. She made sure everything was done. Like she, you know what I'm saying? She took care of it. Same thing with my family, just anybody in my family. So my main family. Another thing was just one saying I like. I heard this from Nipsey Hussle was one of his songs. It was like, never let a hard time humble us.
Mm,
So I always knew that I wanted to be a pro. I always knew that in college, like I want to play. I knew I was good enough to play, and I want to show people. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also was a firm believer in staying ready. So I always worked, man. Like it was so many times I didn't play, but me and my teammate when we had like a house together. So it'd be times like me and AJ, you know, or Blake would be like we're going to the gym. Even if I didn't play,
yeah.
we ain't each other. I'm texting him like, "You ready to go to the gym?" We're like, "Yeah, let's go." It'd be times, man, like we'd get up, work out in the morning. Not besides conditioning, we get up and work in the morning. And then if I had time between classes, I go work out, go through practice. I stay after practice and shoot, work out.
Right.
And then later on that night, we in the weight room. We're going to either school weight room or we go to I think yeah, it was Planet Fitness or something.
But you're putting the work in
I was doing that
all day, every day.
every day regardless. Like we was lifting, and sometimes like you know what I'm saying, we ain't even eat, but we was in the gym. It was times like I remember like at Broome Parker, a couple of my teammates I used to be with. His name is Saran. It was times I was telling him it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Like we stayed up doing homework and stuff like that. And it'd be like one of them nights. I'm like, we can go to the gym.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm coming with you.
So what would you say? Because I think as I mentioned, like faith and perseverance would be one way I describe your story. But you, just as anybody else, the recruiting journey can potentially be about the same. Where you got to have the skill set and the talent. That's a given.
Gotcha.
Like there's no way you're getting well for most. There's no way you're going to compete on the college level without the skill set and without the talent. But then there's the promotion of yourself,
Right.
or the promoting to be done for you by somebody else that believes in you.
Right.
What would you say to the high school kids that are going through the recruiting journey about that? About just maybe about the promotion piece of that.
Especially nowadays with social media and all the different types of social media, TikTok, anything like, it's so many different ways to get discovered and seen. And I always tell people like it could just be one game, one play. You do something, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes like you hear like the John Morant story,
Yeah,
like dude was getting a bag of chips and he just happened to see him in the auxiliary gym and he was still playing like he was in the main gym.
crazy.
So it's just like you promote yourself. So like I don't, you know, if you got highlights after a game or anything like that, you should post stats and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But also working hard to me is so important because, you know, opportunity and preparation they're gonna meet. So when that opportunity comes, like you gotta have the faith, obviously, but if God puts something in front of you, are you gonna really be ready to handle what He gonna give you?
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure, like, okay, I'm promoting myself. Like, hey, I go here. This is my GPA. This all this that third, and then you know what I'm saying. You got to keep the faith in God. you got to do your part. Like God gonna do His part, but you got to do your part.
Right.
So that means getting up early. That means staying late. You know what I'm saying? That means you getting extra shots up. You watching film. Sometimes it ain't even just about basketball or whatever sports you're playing. Like you can watch film on yourself. Like were you in the right spots? What are you doing there? You know what I'm saying? What was you thinking?
Right.
What was the other team thinking? How are they guarding you? It's just like little stuff like that every single day. Like even if I can't get into the gym or like I have a busy schedule, I'll still look at some film of myself. I'll still go look at because I even got some old games. Like I got it set out to like different timestamps of like why weren't you playing defense or was you taking the play off or I look at little stuff like that or even sometimes just watching the game, watch other people. You know what I'm saying? Like watch guys in my position, watch guys in my height. Like I watch like Trey Young, um, Patrick Beverly because he's a guy that he's been scoring a lot more lately and passing a lot more lately now.
Sure.
That's crazy, but
he's fun to watch, man.
he is. But how he just knows his role. He plays defense and he leads.
And does it well.
And he does it at a high level.
Any team he's been on. So I think about what you just said there. So I take that a step further because I think about that from a business standpoint a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes I've worked with some people who want to make $1 million a year,
Right.
but they got $1,000 a year work ethic.
You don't work like that,
right?
The grind sold separately.
Exactly. It grinds sold separately, and as I said on I think a previous show or two, success waits for nobody, right? There's a lot of ways we can dress that up, but ultimately you got to go put in the work. So for that high school kid maybe who could be a little bit passive, a little bit reserved, whatever, about promoting themselves, what's your advice for them? Because are they getting left in the wind because they won't open their mouth?
In today's day and age, yeah, you can. Like that's a sad reality. Like you can, and you can't just expect like okay, you can't like I know my high school coach or like my parents or you know what I'm saying. A lot of coaches they want to see you take the initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like Grayson Allen,
Yeah,
he emailed Coach K himself,
straight up,
and he kept doing it, and then he finally came, and he went off. In the game he came, he went off, got offered, and committed. So like you got to be your biggest advocate. And I feel like that's in all like parts of life because people can have an idea of what you do, but like nobody knows how hard like
nope,
you work. Nobody knows how much dedication or how much time or how much discipline comes with what you do, but you. So if you know that about yourself, then why not put yourself out there?
right.
You know, and it might be weird or you know what I'm saying at first, but you know that it's coming from a place of with intent. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person too, like it's a lot of stuff. Sometimes I don't like do stuff or broadcast myself because I don't want to seem like I'm broke to the brag. You know what I'm saying? God don't bless that.
Right.
But I know that in this business and in this space, you know what I'm saying? You got to do that at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to make people familiar with your face. You know what I'm saying? Me like trying to become a brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to put more of my face out there, and so I got to get more comfortable with talking and just stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? So if you're normally a passive person, like my biggest advice would be to just, you know what I'm saying, lead with God. You know what I'm saying? Ask him to like tell you what to say and what to do.
Right.
And as long as you're doing it with a good spirit and a good heart, you know what I'm saying, I feel like it'll be received. Especially if you just want to play in college, look for opportunity to play, you know what I'm saying, get a degree paid for or partially paid for or however that may look like for you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a big thing. You gotta try to promote yourself.
Right.
Even if you just posting a couple clips and people might be like, okay, well, who is this? Let me go do my research. And nowadays all the rosters in high school you can see everything and stats available. And they might just be interested because they seen a clip of you making a layup or something. Like, well,
right.
I like that. Let me go look at that kid.
Yep.
Because I know for me personally, like when I see players, you know what I'm saying? Because like I'm real big into like women's basketball right now.
Huge, man.
I love women's basketball. So it'd be times like I might come across somebody and I'm like, man, she is tough. Oh, she played for South Carolina. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna start looking at what she do because I like the way she plays.
Right.
So I know as a fan, if I'm looking at you know what I'm saying players like that, I know a coach who's looking for players. You know what I'm saying, especially in any of these lower level programs who's looking for a player. I know they're gonna do the same thing.
Right.
Because it's social media. There's no telling who it's gonna reach. There's no telling.
Bro, there's a softball player, man. Her name's Chloe, and I I think she lives in like the Conyers, Covington area, I believe.
Yeah.
But I've met her maybe once in my life, and I don't even think I've spoken to her. Actually, I think I just played against her.
Yeah.
But I highlighted her, or I just gave her a shout out,
Yeah.
and back in season 1 on the show, because I love the way that she is unapologetic about promoting herself.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I go, okay, well, I don't know what her personality is. I don't know what she is in school. Is she an introvert, extrovert, whatever? But either way, you pull up her Instagram profile and it's like she's showing you what she's doing. She's giving you behind the scenes. She's giving you on the scenes, everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so if any coach were to just scroll through her profile for 5 minutes, 2 minutes even,
Yeah.
they're going to get a glimpse of the work she's putting in. Right. And I think that doesn't, and then again, I'm sure that's like her softball specific made Instagram profile. Maybe she's got a separate one that she, does for life or whatever. But either way, my point is that like today you've got to be your biggest advocate.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna be a bigger fan of yourself than you, and
Right.
nobody's gonna be a harsher critic of yourself than you. So I feel like that's a big one. And also too, just I know sometimes people might be like expectations, or one thing that I've learned is that nobody's gonna have bigger expectations for me than me. You know what I'm saying? And also too, nobody knows how hard I worked to get here and know what I've had to do, I had to sacrifice. So people's opinions and what they might think or what they might say, because they don't know the real me,
Right.
they don't matter. And I feel like if you're a kid that's trying to get to that next level, like it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because how this is with sports. Fans and people, like, you might have bad games. There's plenty times in high school, like I probably had bad games, and I heard people say like, need a new point guard, replace him, and
Oh yeah.
this and that. But at the same time, it's like I know how much work I put in. I know where I want to be, where I'm praying to be, and where I'm working to be. So I'm gonna promote myself.
You should. And on to your last point right there of like, oh, you need a new point guard. Well, in the sports world, that's always going to be the case. The bigger the spotlight, the more you're going to hear that, right? Because you can be just staying on the basketball vein, but this can apply to any sport. Like I told you, I referee basketball.
Yeah.
Well, you make a bad call, get this referee out of here, right?
Yeah.
Or every call you make, 50% of the crowd's not going to like it. So you might as well make the call. Make the right call, whatever.
Like that game you refed in Sparta when they kid hit the game winner.
Yeah.
Like even with that, like, man, it's like you got to understand there's so much that goes into being a ref.
Yeah, there's a craft that goes to it, right? Like we're a team on the floor just like the other two are.
Yeah.
Right? And I consider myself an athlete in that moment because there ain't no way in the world I can run up and down the court with 16, 18-year-olds if I'm not athletic. Right. You know what I mean? I can't put myself in a position to officiate a game the right way, right?
Right.
But my larger point there is though, every referee, every ball player, every coach, every GM, every owner, right, gets shade thrown at them when things aren't going well, right? Therefore, you have to trust your craft. You have to trust the work that you put in to be able to continue going. But if you didn't put any work to get there,
if you didn't put any work, like,
you're gonna fold.
Because I'm a firm believer too. Like whatever you get out, you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game.
Whatever you put in, you're gonna get out of it.
The game, you can't cheat the game because you can only get by with just natural talent, athleticism, or if you want to go even to the gym and the coaching, like you can only get by so far with nepotism and anything like that. Because at some point, like you're gonna have to show your work.
Right? Because some people have God-given talent.
Some people do. And I've seen people that I've seen guys that, man, like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
And I look at you and I first look in, I'm like, you most definitely should be in the NBA. And then I see work ethic, where I see like not committed. I see how you eat.
Yep.
And it's be like, I see your other habits, even with sleep. I'm like, yeah, okay, I see.
You see why they're not where they should have been, right? Because you only for so long can you get away with out talenting somebody else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
If this kid, if you're here and he or she is here, but this person's working their tail off, they'll surpass you. It might take a second, but they will surpass you.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I go, as a coach, right? That's the part where I'm always trying to employ my players, right? As a referee, if I get a chance to talk to a kid on the floor, like, listen, that other guard is outworking you.
Yeah.
She's out hustling you.
Yeah.
Right? There's all of that to me that kind of goes into the whole package deal, right? In terms of hard work. So, but for you, last question of this segment, give us a time, man, for you, and there's a lot of times for you.
Yeah.
I know you're a hard worker, but give us a time, brother, where you've virtually seen that hard work pay off, whether it be immediately or years down the road.
I actually got like 2 instances. So one time I remember at Champion, I had been playing, and I remember it's a couple times there actually, but I remember it's some stuff that happened and with the team within the film session. So some guys had got they got like kind of like suspended and stuff like that. And I remember going with my best friend AJ, and we was working out, and I just felt it in my soul. Like I felt it in my soul. I was like, bro, I'm gonna get a chance. Like there's no way I don't get a chance. You might be a little short-handed at guard. Like there's no way I ain't gonna get no chance.
Mm-hmm.
And so we was on the shot machine working. Me, him, and my Corey, my friend at the time, Corey. So we was working. And I was working on shooting. And I was working on everything. I'm like, tomorrow it's gonna come in handy. So next day, game. And so like I always had this little like game day routine. We would go get something to eat. It'd probably be like Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? I would try to get up a couple shots and then stay off my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember we going into the game, like the environment was like crazy. Like the environment was like crazy, energetic.
Yeah.
Like a rivalry. And so I was kind of feeling, I was like, today might be a good day. But I didn't show no smile, but in my head, I'm like, the work will show today. So game going by, time going by, and I still ain't got in. I'm still keeping that faith. I'm like, stay ready. You call my number. And so then the guy was guarding. He was like 1,000-point scorer at guard. We kind of like the same height, but as far as like strength wise, bro was like 180, 185. I'm probably like in the 150s. I was pretty strong, but I wasn't like that strong. He was like 180s. I guarded him. He didn't score on me. And I remember it was a play. I didn't shoot it. I should have shot it, but I actually broke somebody. I didn't shoot it. I should have shot it. I didn't shoot it. And then I ended up getting an offensive rebound. I tipped out to AJ, and so he ended up pump faking. And that we it's funny because me and him used to work on it, like him kicking it to me, because that's how it'd be in the game.
Right.
So he kicked it to me, and like I just remember, I was like, I'm gonna hit this. Like I have no choice to hit it. And he passed it, and he was like, you better hit it. And so I remember I hit it, like the whole like crowd, like everybody went crazy. And so then I was like like those, it's like a moment when you feel out the adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm here now. And then
amped up.
Another time would be have to be at Barclays this past year. At first I was shooting the ball really well, and then I kind of went through like a little drought with shooting. And I had some 1-for-5s, some 1-for-6s, 2-for-7s. I wasn't really shooting the ball that well, and I was just standing in the gym. I was with my friends CJ, Eton, Nato, Jordan. We was just in there shooting, and I'm like, bro, at some point, like I'm gonna catch fire. Like at some point, I'm gonna catch fire. So we ended up playing like a conference tournament, and so I think that was my career. I was somewhere in the 20s. I can't remember, but I just remember like I hit like maybe like 4 or 5 threes, and we ended up coming back. And then I remember just like anytime I get done with a workout, no matter what I do, I always shoot free throws. I try to shoot like a bunch of free throws, anywhere 50 to 100. And Coach G, after every practice, he always made us shoot like 25 or 50 free throws.
Why though? What was your purpose for that?
I just always, cause like you shoot when you're tired, late game situation, you never know. And two, it's also like another way of working on like your shot form. Cause I feel like your free throw mechanics and your shot, that's kind of like a mimicking of your jump shot.
Right.
So I always like to just end off with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I didn't shoot too well in the workout, I'm still getting more reps in my jumping. And so I was shooting free throws, and I was like, I feel good. So we ended up taking the game to OT. Well, before we got to OT though, the game was tied. I had been hitting some shots, you know what I'm saying? And then I just remember when my teammates Al, he was trying to give it to either me or Davion. So people was like, why he didn't take the layup? Take the layup. So everybody in the gym like, take the layup. So I'm looking like, why he ain't taking the layup? Since he's dribbling up under the goal, like he dribbling out, I'm like, oh, he trying to find one of us.
Yeah.
And so I just happened to like pop back up open, and I just catch and I shoot the three. The ball went in and out. It would have been a 4-point play, but I got fouled. And so I had to make all three. Like I had to make all three to tie.
Wow.
And so I remember they called the timeout or whatever, and then Eton was like, "Bro, I know you're gonna hit these." And Coach G was like, "What we gonna do when you make the free throw?" He was like, "You're gonna make the free throw." And so I was like, "Okay, well, it's time. Like this, you know what I'm saying? It's time." So I hit the first two. The other team called timeout. Kind of knocked off the rhythm.
After the second free throw.
They kind of knock off the rhythm.
Yeah.
And so we just sitting there, and everybody's like being funny, like, "Nah, don't sit down, just stay up, just stay up." And so like, bro, I'm gonna hit this. Like I'm gonna hit this. And so then I just remember hitting it, and then my teammate Davion in the background, you could hear him like in the video. He's like, "Easy money." He's yelling, he's like, "Easy money." And so then like that's when I feel like, okay, I wasn't shooting that good coming into the tournament. I wasn't shooting that well, and I played bad the first game of the tournament. I had played bad, and so I just was like, the work had showed. Cause even after games, bro, like even after any game, I always stay and shoot. Like always stay and shoot.
And your boys kept their confidence in you, right?
Yeah, they did.
Stretch.
Yeah, they did. You know, they still was passing to me. They were still telling me like, you know what I'm saying, like we trust you, and that's a big thing too.
It is
having guys that trust you, and even like at Champion when I wasn't playing, like you know what I'm saying, the games I was playing, you know, having guys like AJ, Braylon, you know what I'm saying, having them All Americans.
That's a glue.
Having them still like, man, we getting double team. It's coming to you. You know, you're gonna shoot it or make a play, but the ball is coming to you. So just having them guys, you know what I'm saying, have faith in me. Coach G have faith in me. You know what I'm saying? So having people have faith in me that really helped and meant a lot. So that made me want to work even like harder because it's like it feels good to be counted on and it's a good thing to have pressure. So I just always try to stay ready and work hard.
That's huge, man. That hard, man. Nothing beats hard work to me. I mean, you know, I think the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? I mean, again, another cliche out there, but it's true. It's true. That phrase has stood the test of time because it's as true today as it was when it was first said. So to segue a little bit as we begin to wrap up the show here, we talked offset about dream chasing.
Yeah.
And we talked about chasing dreams, how important that is to continue to do.
Yeah.
Each and every day. Talk to me about that. What's your message to the younger kids out there that have a dream but maybe don't know how to go about it, or maybe they're putting that dream on a shelf somewhere even?
Man, the biggest thing that I would tell the kids is like when nobody else sees it, like you gotta see it. So like I remember my junior year of high school that summer. I remember I was just we did the team count like at Georgia College and stuff, playing bigger schools, and I'm playing really well. And so I'm like, I'm kind of starting to see the vision I see with myself. Like I can really be good. You know what I'm saying? Like I really can if I continue to work.
Yeah.
So my sister, she had a dream board in her room of stuff she like sure she wanted to travel, degrees she wanted to get, college stuff. You know what I'm saying? And she was salutatorian in her class, so she was a hard worker. So
big shout out to Big Sis.
Yeah, big shout out to her. So I seen her like her have dream board, and I see her like literally like accomplish everything that was on there. Or if she didn't, she was close to it. So I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I went home, I put up a big dream board, and I had it hanging over my bed. So every night before I went to sleep, I looked at it. And so even if I didn't get those goals, I got close to it or around it. You know what I'm saying? So even now, like around my mirror, I have like little sticky notes. And it's like words of affirmation. It's like scriptures. It's like just daily reminders to myself that, you know what I'm saying, I'm built for this.
Yep.
I've been here before. Ain't nothing that I haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? Like trust your work. Shout Wood, carry word. Shout to AJ. That's his favorite saying. Just little stuff to remind myself about the dream. And I'm actually about to make another one because I kind of did everything on that list. Now it's time to make a whole new one. So my biggest thing was just if you dream it, like really set out a plan for yourself, like, you know, what you want to do. And it don't matter how big it is, because I also like the saying too. It's like you shoot for the. I can't remember exactly, but it's like you shoot for the stars or something like that. You land like on the moon or something like that. Because it's like even if you try to go as high as you can, even if you don't achieve that, you're still gonna be a ways away from where you were before.
Hey, you shoot for the stars. If you don't get there, you still land on the moon.
Yeah, you still which
is a big feat.
Yeah, so it's just like every single day though, like set your goal and your dream, what you want to do, and then every single day chase it. No matter what's good days, bad days, sad days, broke days, up days, no matter what the day might seem like, try to get better every single day at your dream and really chase it. And same way I didn't have anybody to really like tell me how to go through process or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tools and stuff that we have available today, like YouTube and all these other things, like it's easy to find somebody that has the lifestyle that you want.
Right.
And not to say that you should want what they have, anything like that. It's kind of reminding like it can be done.
Exactly.
And so every morning, at night, and stuff like that, before I go to sleep, I just had a reminder it can be done, and then I can look up and be like, those goals I want to achieve. So just strive every single day. You know what I'm saying? And just because a denial is not delayed.
Yep.
It took me a while to really just get here. I still feel like I haven't done nothing yet. I'm just at the beginning, but it took a long way just to get to this little portion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's been 5.5 years. So gotta have patience. Dream it, dream big, and set a goal and plan for yourself. And just day by day, as long as you scratching something off or you getting close to it, you're gonna look up and years gonna go by, and you're gonna like, man, like I really accomplished some stuff. So that'd just be my big advice: dream and plan and execute. And if you hear a no or a couple no's, because you're gonna hear no's, don't let that stop you at all. Gotta keep going. And the biggest thing, gotta keep going first though.
Amen.
Gotta keep going first.
Brother, I'm so proud of you, man. I am.
Appreciate
I
that.
know a large majority of our audience doesn't know you. That they may not know who you are, but they do now. And I'm just incredibly thrilled for just the opportunity that God has given us to be right here in this moment, hopefully to add some value for some other people, man. So I appreciate you being on the show, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
And guys, as I always do, I'm going to share a thought you should know moment with you guys. And this is actually a quote that I've lived by for a very long time, by a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn. I don't know if you know that name or not, but a motivational speaker, older guy. But he says, "Make plans like an adult and believe in them like a child." And when I think about that, KJ, brother, for me, that's how I try to live. I try to live responsibly. I try to make sure that the dreams, the goals, the plans that I put in place for myself and my family, I'm doing those like an adult should, right? But sometimes, as we talked about today, people can forget to continue chasing that dream. They can forget to keep going after that goal, right? Or maybe they don't forget, they just stop because they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And again, kind of going back to your story, there were times potentially where you didn't see a light at the end, right? But you kept going, you persevered, and you continued to go after that dream. I got a 4-year-old daughter, right? Bro, she dreams like crazy. Her imagination is out of this world, right? And so when that quote says, "Believe in it like a child," that's where I'm going. Like a 4-year-old kid who believes this world is never going to end, and life, is going to never, she's just, it's all over the place, right? And so for us guys, as adults, as teenagers, young adults, wherever you are in your life right now, again, I encourage you, make those plans like an adult should, but believe in them like a child. Don't push them off to the side. Don't let them collect dust on the shelf. Go after them each and every day. So that's my thought you should know moment for you guys today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. KJ, brother, once again, man, thank you.
Man, I truly appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. So we're going to sign this show off like we always do. So please, everybody, let all you do be done in love. Because at the end of the day, that is truly what makes the world go round. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
See you.